position right now in the NBA? I'm talking about elite centers and their place in the game.
Well, the center position has changed, Kevin. You don't have a lot of back-to-the-basket centers anymore. More of the big guys are stepping out and are more like stretch fours than traditional big guys. What you have in the center position now typically are rebounders and rim protectors. Not many dominant scorers on the low block.
A look at the opening lineup for the Houston Rockets. Paul and Harden, the star-studded backcourt. Ariza and Anderson holding down the forward spots. And it's Capella in at the 5 spot. And so it's the Thunder getting on the board first. Harden sets the pick for Paul. To the inside. Harden kicks to Paul. Trying to answer back, but that three is off the mark. On defense, the Rockets, it's a three-point game. They're getting their first look at the Thunder in this one.
Yeah, some history here, though. Of course, they won that first-round series in last year's playoffs and ended up sending them packing.
Added incentive in a game like this. I mean, they've got to be ready to rise up to that challenge.
And Andre Robertson is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul. We play just over a minute here in the first. Anderson the screen. The dish to Harden. From 12 feet out. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron.
You've got to be mindful of Harden at all times, especially when he's close to the basket. He really knows how to finish inside.
Off the pick. A shot, no good. Good D by Ariza. Now, here is Harden. He's guarded closely, and that one, good.
Man, he's so aggressive offensively. I like his assertiveness. CP3 not taking 1 second extra to pull the trigger once he gets the pass.
Now, here's Anthony. He had 16 points in the win against Utah. They get it back. Adams' shot is good.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
Boy, it's a thing of beauty watching him attack the defense like that. I mean, they wanted no part of him on that layup.
Here's Capella. His scoring has been there on a regular basis. He's averaging more than 14 points a game.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
That's what I call an everything but. Good execution, just didn't knock it down. But you're right. They're happy with that shot.
Now here's Adams. Harden missing his last shot. Back to Westbrook. Beyond the arc. Buries it from three-point range. Westbrook's got 6.
Yeah, awesome watching Westbrook drain the 3-ball there. He just needs to focus on being a little more efficient from downtown.
It's tipped. It's off his foot. And it's whistled a kick. And so here is Houston, trailing by 4. There's the pick. The 3 from Harden.
You know, this just hasn't been his quarter. I mean, he doesn't seem to be comfortable at all, particularly shooting. I mean, he knows he's struggling right now.
And the jam by Harden.
I don't think there's anybody better than Harden at converting through contact. Superb in that area because he's crafty, he's strong, and he's skilled. Well, you look at a player of Harden's ability, and a couple of things stand out for me. One is his competitive spirit. He's understated, but he's very competitive. He doesn't take nights off. He's a guy who really takes pride in showing up and playing every game.
Raymond Felton, he's checked in for Oklahoma City.
1 shot.
And to illustrate Harden's competitive nature, last season he famously said, "I just want to hoop. I'll rest when I'm done." But that's exactly what you want to hear from your team leader.
Yeah, you love hearing that. Owning the responsibility of leading and showing up all the time. And Harden, heavily depended upon by his team, gives you everything he has every night. Not super flashy, but very competitive and driven.
Now, here is Harden, following the miss by Carmelo Anthony. Anderson, a screen on Anthony. Kicks it out to Paul. Lets the three fly. Rebounded by Anthony. Oklahoma City's gone 2 or 3 from deep so far in this game. Let's go.
Wow. My goodness.
And you know Westbrook has an outstanding vertical. Once he gets to the launching pad, rim, beware.
Now here's Harden. He's coming off an unbelievably high-scoring game. Anderson against Anthony. Clock at 6. And Anderson kicks to Paul. Over Westbrook. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him.
No problem at all operating in the paint for Chris Paul. He shoots an excellent percentage, even down there amongst the trees.
Now here's Westbrook. He picked up 27 points in their last win against the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, but the rebounding in that game as well was just tremendous. I mean, he dominated the backboard. You know, his positioning near the hoop, always to his advantage. Just a terrific job to tip that one back in.
Basket counts.
You know, tremendous and wonderful balance from Harden. This dude could have been a running back of the highest caliber with his size, dexterity, and balance. Never lets the defense get him out of his rhythm.
And George gets it to go. Rockets trail by 3. Screen by Capella. And looks like the illegal pick was set. Yep, that's right. That'll get their attention.
And that's a tough one, but on those illegal screen calls, the defender's never going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Those are facts, man. I mean, if he's sliding his feet just a skosh, the refs are going to whistle him for it.
Paul against Westbrook. Bounces high off the rim and drops. Westbrook's got 10 points in the game.
And he's starting to show that killer instinct this quarter, looking to extend the lead.
And the dunk by Capella.
Oh, I like how Capella stays one step ahead of the posse on defense. Has a real good sense of body control.
Here's Westbrook after Clint Capella's bucket. Westbrook dishes to Anthony. Fires it up. Good. Nice assist from Westbrook.
Boy, I like how quickly he threw the bounce pass there. Hard to defend against that.
Rockets trail by 5. Now we'll go to David Aldridge, who spoke with Mike D'Antoni. David.
Well, Kevin, the crucial aspect in his mind is making things tough for them inside. He said they're a physical team, and they bring a lot of intensity. If we don't respond when they push us, we'll just get bullied all game. We're going to get down in the paint tonight, Kevin. Back to you.
Thanks so much, David. Now here's Westbrook following the shot by Chris Paul. Westbrook kicks to Anthony. Adams sets the pick for Anthony. Adams with the screen on Capella. Anthony, the pass to Adams, and it's out of bounds to the Thunder as Oklahoma City retains possession.
And defensively, great anticipation, making a play there on the ball.
Well, the thing they did there, Greg, clogged up the passing lanes, playing them beautifully and making things hard for the opponent. That's really good defense.
Looking at who's out there now for the Rockets. P.J. Tucker, he's checked in for Anderson. And Gordon subbed in for Trevor Ariza. Rockets trail by 7. Paul with the ball. He has been a nice option for them offensively, and he's averaging more than 17 points a game. Shot clock at 5. Here's Tucker. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
Here's a look at some stats for Capella. The last 10 or so games, he has been remarkable, averaging 15 points a game, 11 rebounds, and just over 2 blocks. And the numbers, while pretty outstanding, I mean, we've now come to expect that from this guy.
Completely in harmony with what his coach is trying to do there. Just a marvelous all-around talent.
That's good from Tucker. And Clark, you've seen so many college and NBA games. What skill or mindset do you see as the best predictor for when a college player is going to be an NBA star?
Well, it's hard to predict stardom, but clearly things that transfer from a skill standpoint from college to the NBA, at least historically, have been the ability to rebound at a high rate. That seems to always make its way from college to the pro game. And then the proficiency of your skill set in terms of ball handling, shooting. And then I would say at the point guard position, the ability to run a team usually transfers. When you can get other people's shots and understand flow and time and score and situations, that doesn't leave you from the college to the pro game.
And here are the Rockets now. After Oklahoma City gets the three. Goes up to the stripe. Bounces high off the rim and drops.
And Gordon's so efficient as a scorer, especially from the mid-range where he's almost automatic.
Westbrook dishes to Adams. Here's the screen. Here's Patterson. And again, Oklahoma City with the triple.
Great three-point shooting here out of the gate. That makes 4 makes already from long distance.
Bring music, scorching those nets. How long can they keep this up, though?
Now here's Gordon. He's coming off a 28-point game against the Clippers. Here's Harden on the wing. Nene setting the pick for Harden. And Jeremy Grant picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Well, we've seen super teams more and more the last decade. Clark, are stacked teams like the Warriors or the Cavaliers, do you think, good for the NBA?
I think it's just part of the NBA. I don't think it's necessarily good or bad, quite honestly. I understand the way some folks look at that, having a dominant team that everybody chases or a couple of dominant teams. How about the Lakers and Celtics during their heyday, or the Sixers and Celtics when they were battling in the East? The Bucks were really good and couldn't quite get past the Celtics or Sixers. I think excellent championship caliber teams, only if there are a few, it's good for the league. I don't necessarily think it's bad. And when you've got competitive balance throughout the league, I think that's good too.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
Yeah, shots falling, off to a very good start offensively as a result.
And now the first timeout called here for the Rockets. Last game matched up with the Clippers. A tough loss there.
Tough night. I mean, they attacked on both ends, and unfortunately for them, they just got called for a lot of fouls.
Yeah, they were too physical and a little bit out of position. They were rough out there, but ultimately the physicality led to fouls, and that hurt them.
Just a moment to look back at how things were last season for this team as we look at the shot breakdown for Houston.
And the three-pointer was their preferred weapon. It can be a risky strategy, but it's one that more and more teams have embraced over the years.
Paul kicks to Nene. Paul against Felton. Here's Paul. 6 on the shot clock. The rebound by Patterson.
And that one gives them a +5 rebound advantage, Kevin.
Pretty clear they're dominating that area. They've come out with a lot more energy and effort so far.
No good from Grant. Rockets trail by 11. Now Gordon. With an average of around 19.5 points a game, his scoring has been a constant for them. Harden, that's good.
He's simply a machine at the offensive end. I wonder how far behind they'd be if he wasn't having this kind of quarter.
Grant outside. Patterson, the screen. Foul on the play, basket down, so it'll be a three-point play chance.
Well, you take a look at this Houston Rockets offense. They've got so many threats, and Harden is clearly the big one. He's in the middle of it all, and his teammates do a nice job of playing off of him.
And Clark, so much of the offensive burden has fallen on the shoulders of Harden. Now he's got some help, certainly, with Chris Paul.
You know what? As well as Harden played last season at the point guard spot, I think this trade was just too good to pass up. I mean, I anticipate they're going to make one heck of a duo.
One shot. One shot.
Hey, when it comes off, grab it, baby. Hey, man, you want this guy? You got shooter, huh?
And the free throw, no good. Greg, you watch the Thunder play, and it's clear that this team comes out looking to attack. Everyone on the team wants to put it on the floor and go right at the rim.
And part of that is their leader, Westbrook, just setting the tone. I mean, team finished near the top in points in the paint last season, and the addition of Paul George just helps to enforce that strength.
Now here's Harden. 10 points for him. And the whistle blows, so a chance here for a three-point play. That's going to send Nene to the line. That's on Patrick Patterson. And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for Oklahoma City.
Guys, they are dialed in from beyond right now. They didn't waste any time getting into a groove in this game.
They've been distributing the ball really well tonight, too. I mean, a decent number of assists so far for them.
One shot, gentlemen.
There are a lot of great young talents in the league right now, and when you take a look, Clark, at the young big men in the league, who stands out to you?
I like a lot of these young big guys because they're mobile, they can score the ball, they rebound it. Karl Anthony Towns is really, when you talk about a guy doing the 2010 thing this early in his career, that's special. Miles Turner, I think, has a chance to be really special with his shooting stroke and his shot blocking ability. And then Porzingis has a lot of Dirk Nowitzki qualities to him.
Felton the pass to Patterson. Outside, Felton. From downtown, Patterson, that's good. Patterson's got his second basket of the night.
And really setting the tone early with their three-point shooting.
Greg, that's already 5 made triples in the first quarter. What a start.
Now here's Gordon. The feed now to Paul. And they wasted no time getting those 3 points back. Paul's got 9 points.
You know, the defense has to be conscious of his playmaking, so a lot of times that gives Chris Paul plenty of room to get off the three-point shot.
Here's Grant. He has 7. Back to Patterson. And again, Oklahoma City with the triple.
And they are shooting the lights out from distance here early.
How do you stop this? I mean, it seems like they can't miss.
Nene, the screen. Inside. And stolen by Patterson. Grant against Gordon. Grant, that's good. 9 points in the game so far.
Guys, his consistency in terms of shooting has really helped them seize control.
Nene setting the pick for Gordon. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in. Gordon's got his second bucket of the game to go. Oklahoma City leading by 8. Outside, Felton. Just 3 on the clock, and that's 2 points on the layup. And the Thunder lead by 10.
And from the opening tip, they just crushed it. You see it now on the scoreboard.
Clearly in great rhythm. They've got it going on, I mean, in a big way. Excellent job at establishing a huge lead early on.
And so it's Oklahoma City going into the break with a 10-point lead. They're playing a bruising game inside, and it's working for them. We'll return shortly. And power forward Patrick Patterson, getting better every season. He said that his college career at Kentucky really helped prepare him for his life as a pro.
I think my 3 years at Kentucky, caused what I am now, as far as being a sound player, a guy who's not all about himself, who puts his team first and who works hard and who doesn't talk back, who doesn't do the negative things. He's a team player, he's a team guy, and he works hard.
Patterson Clark, exactly the guy he says he is, and that's why he's one of those glue guys you've got to have on your team.
And the kind of guy who his teammates love, because they know he's always going to have their back, always going to work hard, and always going to bring it.
And we're ready to get rolling once again here for our Christmas Day matchup. what stands out to you from Oklahoma City in this one?
I mean, you saw it. That barrage of threes has them grooving here after one.
Rolling, absolutely rolling, flat out killing it from beyond the arc.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. So for Oklahoma City right now, they've got Grant. Patrick Patterson is out there with Eustace. And there's Roberson, and it's Abrinas in at the point guard.
Beautiful stroke on the three ball there. Harden is a lights-out shooter from behind the arc.
And Roberson kicks to Abrinas. Patterson a screen on Paul. Back to Roberson. Grant outside. Shot clock at 5. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. It's on Nene.
And Grant is just really an aggressive player who welcomes contact on his shots. I mean, the defense has to be careful around him because he's looking to draw fouls.
Two. I got mine. Who got shooter, huh? Hey, let me get big man.
And the first one drops.
Well, you know, last season, one of the surprise teams was the Houston Rockets. Ended up 3rd in the West and one of the best records in the NBA. And, you know, most thought they would have a down year after Dwight Howard walked.
The Rockets making a switch here. Ariza's checked in.
Hey, when it comes off, grab it, baby. Hey, man, you want this guy?
And Grant drops them both. And the Rockets, one of the big surprises in the NBA, but the players believe that they were one of the best teams heading into last season. They eventually won 55 games, which was much better than the 41 wins the season before.
Well, you know, Kevin, this organization has been putting out solid teams for the past decade, really. I mean, Mike D'Antoni deserves a lot of credit for their play last season because they were focused and were always hard to match up with.
And so here is Oklahoma City. Trevor Ariza missing from long range. And Roberson kicks to Grant. Lets it go from deep. And again, no good by Oklahoma City.
And just not able to find the target from three-point range here in the second quarter, although he did knock down one in the first.
Ariza dishes to Gordon. Back to Ariza, expanding his range. That one's in, his first bucket of the game. He's 1 for 2.
And they are absolutely stroking it from beyond the arc.
Here's Patterson. A three-pointer off the mark.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
For 3. That shot off the mark. Oklahoma City leading by 6. We're just over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. No good from Grant.
Unfortunately, his shot has been everywhere, all over the place. Can't buy a basket. However, his teammates got him covered.
And they've got to talk to each other on D there. Miscommunication, and now he's able to make them pay.
And so it's Oklahoma City with it after Eric Gordon hit the 3. Pass to Grant. Position right now in the NBA. I'm talking about elite centers and their place in the game.
Well, the center position has changed, Kevin. You don't have a lot of back-to-the-basket centers anymore. More of the big guys are stepping out and are more like stretch fours than traditional big guys. What you have in the center position now typically are rebounders and rim protectors. Not many dominant scorers on the low block.
A look at the opening lineup for the Houston Rockets. Paul and Harden, the star-studded backcourt. Ariza and Anderson holding down the forward spots. And it's Capella in at the 5 spot. And so it's the Thunder getting on the board first. Harden sets the pick for Paul. To the inside. Harden kicks to Paul. Tried to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark. On defense, the Rockets, it's a 3-point game. They're getting their first look at the Thunder in this position right now in the NBA. I'm talking about elite centers and their place in the game.
Well, the center position has changed, Kevin. You don't have a lot of back-to-the-basket centers anymore. More of the big guys are stepping out and are more like stretch fours than traditional big guys. what you have in the center position now typically are rebounders and rim protectors. Not many dominant scorers on the low block.
A look at the opening lineup for the Houston Rockets. Paul and Harden, the star-studded backcourt. Ariza and Anderson holding down the forward spots. And it's Capella in at the 5 spot. And so it's the Thunder getting on the board first. Harden sets the pick for Paul. To the inside. Harden kicks to Paul. Tried to answer back, but that three is off the mark. On defense, the Rockets, it's a 3-point game. They're getting their first look at the Thunder in this one.
Yeah, some history here, though. Of course, they won that first-round series in last year's playoffs and ended up sending them packing.
Added incentive in a game like this. I mean, they've got to be ready to rise up to that challenge.
And Andre Robertson is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul. We play just over a minute here in the first. Anderson the screen. The dish to Harden. From 12 feet out. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron.
You've got to be mindful of Harden at all times, especially when he's close to the basket. He really knows how to finish inside.
Off the pick. A shot, no good. Good D by Ariza. Now, here is Harden. He's guarded closely, and that one, good.
And he's so aggressive offensively. I like his assertiveness. CP3 not taking 1 second extra to pull the trigger once he gets the pass.
Now, here's Anthony. He had 16 points in the win against Utah. They get it back. Adams' shot is good.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
Boy, it's a thing of beauty watching him attack the defense like that. I mean, they wanted no part of him on that layup.
Here's Capella. His scoring has been there on a regular basis. He's averaging more than 14 points a game.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
That's what I call an everything but. Good execution, just didn't knock it down. But you're right. They're happy with that shot.
Now here's Adams. Harden missing his last shot. Back to Westbrook. Beyond the arc. Buries it from 3-point range. Westbrook's got 6.
Yeah, awesome watching Westbrook drain the 3-ball there. He just needs to focus on being a little more efficient from downtown.
It's tipped. It's off his foot. And it's whistled a kick. And so here is Houston, trailing by 4. There's the pick. The 3 from Harden.
You know, this just hasn't been his quarter. I mean, he doesn't seem to be comfortable at all, particularly shooting. I mean, he knows he's struggling right now.
And the jam by Harden.
I don't think there's anybody better than Harden at converting through contact. Superb in that area because he's crafty, he's strong, and he's skilled.
Better from that range.
Here's Gordon, and oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2.
And Eric Gordon has long been noted as a terrific shooter, but I felt like he was able to display just how great he can be last season. Had that green light whenever he was on the floor and really near the top of the league in terms of threes attempted and made.
Shooting 2.
Free throw good from Eric Gordon. And for Gordon, he's been a great catch-and-shoot player in the past, Greg. The difference last season was the improvement in his pull-up threes.
And there is a world of difference between shooting a 3 off the pass as opposed to off the dribble. The pull-up threes are what make players like Steph Curry so hard to guard. And when Gordon added that to his game, I think it helped his overall ability to score the basketball. And what an advantage. You really feel like you can always trust him when he's at the line.
Here's Westbrook. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. Chris Paul picks up that one.
And Russell Westbrook is as explosive a guard as we've seen in the history of the game. An incredibly gifted scorer who can also punch it on you.
Two shots. Relax on the first.
And he makes the first. Clark, a lot of former players had a specific instance when they knew they were special, the way they played the game of basketball. Did you ever have a moment like that where you realized that you could make it as a player?
Yeah, there was a time when that became more realistic to me, Kevin. And I grew up in Cleveland, and during the summers, a lot of the Cleveland Cavaliers would stay in the area and play pickup basketball to stay in shape. And I got a chance to bump heads with a lot of those guys, Jim Jones and the late Terry Furlow, Austin Carr, Dingo Smith, Mike Mitchell. And I was only 15, 16 years old, and while those guys were going at half speed, it gave me the encouragement that I might be able to get to where they were if I continued to work hard and stay healthy. So at 15 or 16, during one of those summers, I began to realize that I might have a chance to realize the dream of being an NBA.
Here's Anderson. Steven Adams making his last shot. Paul outside. Back to Ariza. Another miss by Houston. Oklahoma City's gone 6 of 14 with the 3 ball tonight. Just a little over 40%. Screen by Adams. Anthony with the screen on Paul. There's the pick. Shot clock at 6. And there's the foul. It's on Steven Adams. That's his first foul.
Yeah, I mean, the way he's climbing all over him on that one, no way the officials are going to miss that.
Tell you what, he might have gotten that rebound and gotten away with it if he had gone straight up, but didn't work out.
And here is Paul. 9 points in the game so far over Westbrook. Paul can't get that one to fall.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
He got off to a slow start. It took him a little while to get into the flow of this game, but he's turned it on here in the second.
Well, when Paul George announced this summer that he intended to leave for the Lakers when the contract ran out, you knew what was coming. Even as a rental possibility, the suitors lined up, and eventually the price was paid, and now George finds himself in a Thunder uniform.
James Harden, he's checked in for Paul. They throw good, Paul George. And to many, the Thunder came out of nowhere to land George in that trade.
You know, most thought Cleveland or maybe Boston were the front runners for his services, but the Thunder snuck in and made their team a 2-star squad once again. Very interesting to see how far the duo of Westbrook and George can go.
Oklahoma City shooting in the second quarter has been pretty embarrassing, just 27%. They set the pick. Fires from deep. Rebounded by Capella. Capella's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Harden dishes to Gordon. Screen by Capella. Well-placed alley-oop pass into the layup. And the Rockets lead by 2.
You've got to respect and you can't sleep on the passing ability of Harden. Love how he zips it over to open teammates.
Westbrook kicks to George. Oh, a nice defensive play to disrupt the alley-oop. George against Ariza. In the corner, it's Gordon. 5 on the clock. Houston needs to get a shot off. Here's Ariza. And that one comes up a bit short. And now the fast break. Westbrook with the ball. Anthony right side. Shoots from the corner, and the jumper is good. Anthony's got it all tied up now for Oklahoma City.
And the shooting form of Anthony, just perfect. He's dangerous with the catch and shoot, and just terrific at scoring when in rhythm.
Kicks it out to Gordon. Anderson the screen. Jumper off the screen. Houston keeps it going, a new 24-second shot clock. Yep, it counts. Capella's got 6 points in the quarter.
And without looking at the scoreboard, you think they were the team trailing and trying to fight their way back.
Yeah, love the energy they're playing with. I say it this way. Good teams, championship teams, play against the game as much as they play against the opponent. Nice uptick here in their second chance points in this quarter.
And Anthony gets it to go.
And love the muscle Anthony brings to the 3 spot. Takes pride in outworking everyone when he's that deep inside.
Now, here is Harden. He's got 16. Here's Westbrook. And it's good off the back rim and in. Westbrook's got 13.
Carmelo Anthony showing you his passing skill there.
Harden gets to Ariza. Some nice passing there by Houston. Right side, Gordon. Back to Ariza. From deep. That's a bucket. His third of the game. He shot the ball 7 times.
And he has really come to life here after a slow start in that first quarter.
Here's George. Rebounded by Capella.
Yeah, that's just poor decision-making. He's got to be better in those situations.
Greg, I just think he was in a hurry. He flat out rushed it. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking there. He actually was in a brain-neutral position.
And the foul called on Russell Westbrook. That'll be his second foul of the game. And the Thunder making a switch here. Felton's checked in. Nene, he's checked in for the Rockets. P.J. Tucker comes in for Trevor Ariza. Gordon with it. 9 points in the game so far. Capella, the pass to Harden. Over Westbrook. Harden can't hit. Oklahoma City trailing. Outside Anthony. Screen by Adams. And George kicks to Felton. Adams sets the pick for Felton. Back to George. That doesn't go either for George.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
Clearly a frustrating missed opportunity there. Perfect screen. Got him the space he needed, but he bricked it.
The Rockets have been perfect so far from the free throw line, 6 for 6.
And team free throw numbers really about as good as you could ask for, around 80% on the season.
And guys, that's really an upgrade over how they shot last season. Not a huge upgrade, but an upgrade nonetheless.
And he knocks down the first one.
No wasted trips at all. They're taking care of business at the line.
One way to protect the lead, knock down those free throws. And 100% free throwing for the quarter, that's superb.
Jeremy Grant, he's checked in for Oklahoma City. Alex Abrinas comes in for Russell Westbrook. All free throws good from Eric Gordon.
That's a great job getting to the line here. You know, he didn't have a single attempt in that first quarter because I thought he was tentative. Much more aggressive here in the second.
5 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Nice shot by Felton. Rockets shooting at 50% in a decent groove. Now Gordon. He's got 11. Screen by Capella. Now here's Gordon. From deep three-point range and released it in time, but it's off the mark. It's a tie game in Oklahoma City. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thanks. Billy, balanced scoring for your team. How pleased are you with the way they're keeping everybody involved offensively?
Well, those guys, I think, have done a really good job of moving the ball and sharing the ball, and they're finding open men and they're willing passers, and I think because of that, they've been efficient offensively.
Open shots tend to be made. Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And an exciting first half indeed. Welcome back. I'm Ernie Johnson alongside Kenny, B-Jet, Smith, and Shaq, the Eel O'Neal. It was all Russell Westbrook in the first quarter. He had 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Shaq, your thoughts on the Thunder?
They ran their offense very well in the first half. There were almost no forced shots. It was good, smart basketball. The motion in their offense was terrific. They made those defenders work very hard. I like what I saw from them for the most part.
And over to Kenny. What did you think about the Rockets?
So far, I love their commitment on the glass. Even when they were playing well, their rebounding remained a priority. And so far, the other side hasn't matched their efforts.
That about wraps it up. Time now for the second half of the game. We go to Kevin Harlan for the call.
Welcome back to Oklahoma City, everyone. You can see Chesapeake Energy Arena there in the background as the cars stream down I-40. Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third. An exceptional performance so far from James Harden.
Yeah, so far they haven't found an answer for him. A scoring machine here in that first half.
Yeah, and it's been fun to watch, partner, because not only is he shooting a high percentage, a good percentage, he's also carrying the team.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. And for the Thunder, they're shooting 56% in this game, really stringing quality possessions together offensively. And on the floor for Mike D'Antoni starting the second half. Anderson is down low with Capella. The 2 pillars of this team, Chris Paul and Harden, are the 1 and the 2. And it's Ariza in at the small forward spot. And here are the Rockets now.
You know, one of the great strengths of Coach D'Antoni, to me, Kevin, is he really gives his players a lot of confidence. And his philosophy really clicks with players. They're comfortable playing for him. They know their responsibilities, and they play hard for D'Antoni.
Here's Westbrook after Clint Capella's bucket. Westbrook dishes to George. And that comes off the assist by Russell Westbrook. George has got the game tied up here for Oklahoma City. Screen by Capella. Harden kicks to Anderson. Feeds to Paul. Ariza has the open look. Knocks down the 3 ball. Ariza's got 11 points.
And Ariza has great confidence in his shot. A dynamite catch and shoot player.
Westbrook passes to George. Little over a minute gone here in the second half. Good D by Ariza. Down low. Outside Westbrook. Over Paul. And he can't bank that one in. Houston leading by 3. Here's Harden. Basket made. That gives him 7 field goals in 13 tries.
And Harden's a prolific scorer. We know that. He gets it done from everywhere, anywhere. Thanks mainly to that outstanding confidence.
And play stops. Whistle on what looks to be an illegal screen. And here's the shot chart as we see how things are going for Harden.
And when you come into a game with the mindset of going right at the rim and not settling for outside shots, this is what your shot chart will look like. Every chance they've had to either attack the paint or play back to the basket, they've taken it, and it's been a complete success thus far.
The Rockets have gone 3 of 3 from the field since halftime. Paul dishes to Harden. Ariza against George. Capella with a screen on George. Anderson wide open. Here's Capella. Adams, some nice D.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
And again, no good by Oklahoma City.
And the shots just continue to say no in terms of falling.
Over in the corner, Paul. He feeds it to Capella. Just 5 to shoot. A step-back shot here. Harden's shot is off. Thunder trailing by 5. And Robertson has it in the corner. Anthony on the wing. Over Anderson. The shot by Anthony, no good.
Ooh, this is turning into a slow start here in the second half. Seems like they left that offense in the locker room.
Kicks it out to Paul. Screen by Capella. Paul against Westbrook. And Paul gets it to go in. Paul's got 11 points.
From that area of the court, he's automatic. I mean, the mid-range jumper is and always will be Chris Paul's shot.
Third quarter action and just under 3.5 minutes have gone. Harden sets the pick for Paul. Down low, Capella, and the dunk by Capella.
Tell you what, Kevin, there aren't many players who would have even seen that pass, but when we're talking about Chris Paul, he's got unique vision, unlike most anybody else.
Now here's Anthony. He's got 6. Adams with the screen on Anderson. For 3, Westbrook. That's in there. Anthony with the assist. Anthony's got 3 assists now in this one. Houston leading by 6. Paul kicks to Harden. Back to Paul. Lob pass to Capella. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Paul. While we have a break, we can see which teams have made the most of their second chance opportunities over the last 10 games. The Thunder in 4th.
I mean, you love their aggressiveness, not settling for one shot offensively, but really running down those loose boards and converting for extra points.
Now here's Anthony. He's been putting up the points on a very steady basis, averaging around 17.5 points a game.
The defense is far too slow to close out on those three-point attempts.
And those triples, they sure do add up quickly, don't they? I mean, they've got to make some kind of adjustment here.
Here's Anderson, and he drops in the layup off the glass. And the Rockets lead by 5.
Awesome watching Anderson get excellent position down low. Once he's established, he can rise up, and he does so with ease.
Sinks the three-pointer. George has got 2 now from beyond the arc in the third for Oklahoma City. And beyond his ability to shine on the basketball floor, you have to commend Carmelo Anthony's effort, Greg, to get NBA players and other athletes more involved in making the world a better place.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of work to be done, but guys like Melo see what is beyond the world of basketball. He's spoken out as well as done the legwork of being active in his communities, and a lot of charity work for Melo. It's just nice to see the maturation process play out.
Catching up on the changes for Oklahoma City, Patterson, he's checked in for Adams, and Houston subbed in for Carmelo Anthony.
Shooting 1.
And watching James Harden, the amount of shots he is able to create for himself and his teammates, he just does so much from his position that is unrivaled. One of the greatest offensive threats, not only today, but really of the last decade.
Here's Roberson. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him.
Yeah, that's just poor decision-making. He's got to be better in those situations.
Greg, I just think he was in a hurry. He flat out rushed it. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking there. He actually was in a brain-neutral position.
And for Harden, he's been in the conversation, Greg, for MVP for several years. The way he's able to just carry an offense with his creativity garners attention.
And Kevin, I think he might have won it last year if it wasn't for the amazing season put in by Russell Westbrook. Don't count Harden out, though. He's such a unique talent on offense. Maybe this will be his year to bring home that MVP award.
Robertson can't hit.
And they continue to control the glass.
Guys, I think they've simply been the more physical team, and that's why they're ahead.
Now here's Paul. 11 points in the game. That one goes in. And now a 9-point Rocket lead.
And how about the terrific use of the crossover there to just throw the defender off balance.
Eustace kicks to Westbrook. They set the pick. Position right now in the NBA. I'm talking about elite centers and their place in the game.
Well, The center position has changed, Kevin. You don't have a lot of back-to-the-basket centers anymore. More of the big guys are stepping out and are more like stretch fours than traditional big guys. What you have in the center position now typically are rebounders and rim protectors. Not many dominant scorers on the low block.
A look at the opening lineup for the Houston Rockets. Paul and Harden, the star-studded backcourt. Ariza and Anderson holding down the forward spots. And it's Capella in at the 5 spot. And so it's the Thunder getting on the board first. Harden sets the pick for Paul. To the inside. Harden kicks to Paul. Trying to answer back, but that three is off the mark. On defense, the Rockets, it's a 3-point game. They're getting their first look at the Thunder in this one.
Yeah, some history here, though. Of course, they won that first-round series in last year's playoffs and ended up sending them packing.
Added incentive in a game like this. I mean, they've got to be ready to rise up to that challenge.
And Andre Robertson is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul. We play just over a minute here in the first. Anderson the screen. The dish to Harden. From 12 feet out. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron.
You've got to be mindful of Harden at all times, especially when he's close to the basket. He really knows how to finish inside.
Off the pick. A shot, no good. Good D by Ariza. Now, here is Harden. He's guarded closely, and that one, good.
He's so aggressive offensively. I like his assertiveness. CP3 not taking 1 second extra to pull the trigger once he gets the pass.
Now, here's Anthony. He had 16 points in the win against Utah. They get it back. Adams' shot is good.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
Boy, it's a thing of beauty watching him attack the defense like that. I mean, they wanted no part of him on that layup.
Here's Capella. His scoring has been there on a regular basis. He's averaging more than 14 points a game.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
That's what I call an everything but. Good execution, just didn't knock it down. But you're right. They're happy with that shot.
Now here's Adams. Harden missing his last shot. Back to Westbrook. Beyond the arc. Buries it from 3-point range. Westbrook's got 6.
Yeah, awesome watching Westbrook drain the 3 ball there. He just needs to focus on being a little more efficient from downtown.
It's tipped. It's off his foot. And it's whistled a kick. And so here is Houston, trailing by 4. There's the pick. The 3 from Harden.
You know, this just hasn't been his quarter. I mean, he doesn't seem to be comfortable at all, particularly shooting. I mean, he knows he's struggling right now.
And the jam by Harden.
I don't think there's anybody better than Harden at converting through contact. Superb in that area because he's crafty, he's strong, and he's skilled. Well, you look at a player of Harden's ability, and a couple of things stand out for me. One is his competitive spirit. He's understated, but
the boards has been impressive.
Guys, that's putting it mildly. I mean, they've been absolutely dominant.
Now, here's Felton. 5 points in the game. Adams with the screen on Ariza. Screen by Adams. 6 to shoot. And George, here we go. And he gets the bucket. George has got 13 points in the second half.
He has been fantastic this quarter, guys. It's just the kind of effort they need if they're going to continue to trim the lead.
Gordon kicks to Harden. And Grant sends it back. Grant against Ariza. Second chance shot. The putback. Here's Nene. It's going to be out of bounds. The Rockets will retain possession.
Rockets ball.
Don't let Gordon shoot it.
Gordon up on top. He's got 14. And then Gordon with the dunk.
And haven't we seen that a few times today, guys? I mean, their defense has got to have a little bit more toughness about it.
And if it doesn't, this is only going to get uglier. I mean, that's no way to defend a player of his caliber.
Here's Adams following the score by Houston. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Harden. And let's take this chance now to look at the real stats, the real scores from the real NBA. Here are the league's leading scores. James Harden, number 1.
And all you have to do is point to his name at the top of that list. Does that tell the story well enough or what? What a season.
Felton kicks to George. The three-pointer, no good.
And even without that three-ball dropping for him, the defense should have done more on that last play.
Gordon dishes to Nene. And there's the pass to Harden. He kicks to Gordon. 6 on the shot clock. And they double up Gordon. Nene has the open look. The offensive rebound. It's good on the putback. And the Rockets lead by 18.
And, you know, that's the hustle and nose for the ball that P.J. Tucker possesses. You've got to get a body on him.
Screen by Adams. Off the screen. Good D by Ariza. Houston's gone 3 of 5 with the long ball since entering the second half. And he makes the bucket, drew contact, and gets the whistle, too.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
Carmelo Anthony, he's checked in for Paul George.
Shooting 1.
Free throw drops for Ariza.
And, you know, Trevor Ariza continues to have an impact on both ends, guys. An amazing defender and an excellent shooter, too.
Felton the pass to Carmelo. Adams in the corner. Right side, Felton. Screen by Adams. Here's the teardrop. And it's laid in by Felton. Felton's got his 3rd basket of the night.
And not relying at all on the three-point shot. They may want to rethink about stretching the defense a bit like they did in that first half.
Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. Gordon kicks to Harden. Nene setting the pick for Harden. In the corner, it's Gordon. There's the 3. But he stays with it.
And the offensive rebound and really the story here today. Even with the big lead, they're still showing more hustle on the boards.
And so it's the Houston Rockets with a 21-point lead to end the quarter. From the field, they have been outstanding, amazing shooting. That's what has them headed to a blowout. And we'll be back with you shortly. Now let's hear what head coach Billy Donovan was reviewing with his team in the huddle.
We should never get beat like that in transition when they throw the ball. Those points add up right now. Let's be locked in and focused right now.
Billy Donovan, as you can tell, not too happy, failing to get back on defense. A major sin in the game of basketball, especially from his standpoint.
Yeah, and anytime you get severely out-hustled, you're going to hear about it from your coach. And you should if he's worth anything.
And we welcome you back as we get going here in the 4th quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. Adams is out there with Anthony. Then there's Felton. Then there's Grant. And it's Abrines in at the 2 spot. That's the lineup in the game for Oklahoma City. Now, here's Felton. There's the screen. Anthony on the wing. Shoots over Tucker. And that one is off. And the Rockets take it the other way. In the corner, it's Gordon. No good on the triple. Oklahoma City shooting with confidence, 50% from the field so far. Grant the pass to Abrinas. To the middle. It's tipped. Stolen by Nene. Outside Gordon. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City. Anthony's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. And recently, the NBA changed it so announcers for teams no longer get a vote in league awards. Not an easy decision for the league to make, Clark.
No, it wasn't an easy one, but I can understand that. There's always the potential for bias when you're associated with a particular team, but there's also some expertise that you no longer have now because of that rule. So it's a delicate balancing act, and I don't mind at least giving it a shot for the league to do it this way.
Shooting 2.
And he makes the first. Well, you could feel the clock ticking for Melo's time in New York, and this offseason, it finally ended, Greg.
Yeah, and for a team like this to add Melo to the mix, what a blessing. I mean, Melo still has a ton of offense to offer, and hard to add a player so skilled as Melo for practically nothing.
Both free throws good from Anthony.
And, you know, Carmelo Anthony is a special player, guys. A bulky, small forward with a quick trigger release, an elite scorer.
Now, here is Harden. Passes it to Nene. And so it looks like the Rockets will retain possession here.
Rockets ball.
Gordon.
Final quarter of play, about a minute and a half off the clock into it. Here's Tucker.
I like watching Grant work hard on the defensive end. He puts great effort into that end of the floor. He's good at pestering whoever he happens to be on, and his long reach helps him do that.
Houston leading by 19 points. And Nene has it in the corner. And Adams sends it back. Anthony dishes to Felton. Screen by Adams. Grant kicks to Anthony. Over Nene, and Anthony gets it to go.
Well, you got to respect the jump shot of Anthony because he's got the ultimate green light. And because of that freedom, he's a dangerous guy on the perimeter.
Harden kicks to Gordon. There's the pick. Nene, the screen. And count it, and a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Gordon with surgeon-like precision scoring the ball. Man, I love watching this guy work.
Well, for the majority of his career, Clark, Eric Gordon has been a starter. But last year, in his first year with the Houston Rockets, they deployed him as a 6th man, and he flourished in that role.
Yeah, you know, he sure did. And some guys just have a knack for thriving in that role coming off the bench. He knew he had the green light coming off the bench and jacking up threes. That's what he was called to do. And even though he played less minutes, he still obliterated his previous career high of three-pointers taken.
That free throw good from Gordon. Well, we know just how athletic the NBA has become since its inception. Clark, even from when you played, just how much faster and stronger has the game become?
I would say if we were going to try to put a percentage on it, I think it's grown 60-70% in terms of athleticism. And a lot of it is attributable to the training advances that have been made in sports science and sports medicine and sports performance. And that's benefited and aided the players greatly. And then you have players that have really bought into nutrition and year-round maintenance of their bodies and taking advantage of this technology to enhance performance. And then it becomes a herd mentality. More and more of the guys are doing it, and more of them are benefiting from this enhanced training. So I'd say it's at least 70% better than 30 years ago.
Yeah, he needs to tell his guys to just box out with some energy. That's basic basketball. They've been lazy on the backboard and have allowed way too many second chance points.
Got my mind flipping, I'm bucking. Digging my ways out of hope for hustling. Get that loot, kid, you know my function. As long as I'm...
For those just joining us, fourth quarter here. We're just over 2.5 minutes into it. Grant outside. Jacks up a three. Rebounded by Capella. Capella's got 14 rebounds for him tonight. Wow. Screen by Capella. Tucker the pass to Capella. Some solid defense from Grant.
A good interior D there prevents the deuce.
You know, that's not easy at all. When guys get this close to the bucket, it's tough to stop the basket.
Houston leading by 18. Paul kicks to Anderson. And some nice passing there by Houston. Here's Tucker. To the right side. Shot clock at 6. Screen by Capella. Tucker can't get it to go. The Thunder have gone 3 of 5 here in the fourth quarter. Pretty good numbers coming out of the break. Shots good by Anthony.
Boy, he's been excellent thus far, Kevin, but it still hasn't been enough to get them the lead.
Gordon dishes to Capella. Gordon a screen. Capella the pass to Paul. Lob pass to Capella. Out of bounds. Oklahoma City takes possession.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
Thunder trailing by 16. Westbrook kicks to Grant. Inside. And it's Anthony with the jam.
Carmelo Anthony imposing his will inside. Doesn't take any time. Rising up for the dunk.
And here's Gordon. Paul outside. Gordon with it. Anderson the screen. 6 on the shot clock. Shoots from 12. The shot, no good. Westbrook with the nice D there. Robertson dishes to Adams. It's stolen by Capella. Paul outside. Pass to Capella. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got assist number 11 for him here tonight. The Thunder have gone 5 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Strong work at that end of the floor. Here's Robertson. Grant outside. Adams sets the pick for Grant. Offensive rebound. And there's 2 points. Working on the glass, paying off that time. Grant's got 6 in the quarter.
Man, I tell you, I love watching Grant get busy down there. I mean, his impressive leaping ability and his quick release on the shot allow him to score at a high rate down low.
Now here's Paul, and they double up Paul. Anderson, and finished off by Anderson.
I like seeing Anderson take it strong to the rim. I mean, deceptive quickness from the big man there.
Now Westbrook. Adams with the screen on Paul. Screen by Adams. Here's Robertson. Great use of the pick to create room for the jumper.
And that's what you give up when you don't fight over the screen.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, not a lot of effort put forth on defense there. I mean, I think he's definitely got to play up on him more and off the screen in that situation.
And the Rockets with possession here, following the score by Oklahoma City. It's stolen by Adams. Robertson the pass to Westbrook, and stolen by Gordon. There's the 3. Hands it from downtown. Gordon's got 24 points.
He's starting to heat up from outside. That's his second this half.
Westbrook kicks to Adams. Grant outside. Screen by Adams.
And, you know, Grant, a second-round pick, has worked hard for his minutes in the NBA. He's an exceptional athlete who plays with a real edge, a bit of a chip on his shoulder.
Shooting 2.
First one falls for him. Paul George, he's checked in for Oklahoma City. And a change for the Rockets. Ariza's checked in. And Grant drops them both.
Wow, they've made every free throw here in the second half.
And that efficiency, Greg, as you know, so critical when you're looking to overcome a deficit. You've got to be close to perfect and can't waste scoring opportunities.
Here's Ariza. Kept alive by Houston.
Oh, tough play underneath there to give them another possession. Just what they were hoping for. A little more time off the clock.
And it's George missing. Houston leading by 15. Outside Gordon. Paul with the screen for Gordon. Count it. And with that basket, he's now 9 of 15 from the floor.
And Gordon doing a nice job measuring these inside shots well. I mean, has a solid, quick release pretty much from anywhere on the floor.
Now, here's George. The shot from the low post is good. George has got 24 points.
I mean, already hot coming into the game. Is it fair to say he's hotter?
Well, that might be fair, Greg, but I wouldn't want to take away from what he did in that last game. I mean, let's just say it's a pretty nice run he's on, no matter how you decide to frame it up.
Unloads from 13. And it's George again missing. Houston's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Now here's Paul. Over Westbrook, and Adams sends it back, and they get it back. And it's Gordon missing. Thunder trailing by 15. Westbrook dishes to Adams. George against Ariza. Shot from 12. Nice jump shot. Good. 26 points for Paul George.
And you know what? In George, I've seen a bit of a maturity come about in terms of him picking his spots in games. And that's evidence of a high basketball IQ and a comfort level with his role as leader on this team.
He had a nice open look right there.
And piling on to that big lead, we know he has the range late on the defensive reaction.
Yeah, and you really can't afford those kinds of lapses. I mean, not when facing a hole or a deficit like this.
Time called here. The Thunder decide to talk it over.
Well, Chris Paul signing the big contract this past offseason, and you knew he'd end up with one of the biggest deals out there, and his impact on a team goes far beyond just stats.
Chance now to recognize our Jordan Player of the Game, Clint Capella.
And he's just been crushing it from the field tonight, Kevin. Whether it's been on open looks or with the guy draped all over him, he just hadn't missed much. With his percentage in the sky-high range, they've had no choice but to make him their #1 option on every trip.
After 2 straight losses, they switched it up a bit tonight, giving him a much bigger role, and it's worked out even better than they could have hoped for. Anthony's checked in for Oklahoma City. James Harden, he's checked in for the Rockets.
And, the hard work that George puts in on the glass is really commendable. Does everything he can to create extra opportunities for his team.
Well, Greg, Houston wanted Chris Paul, and they got their man. One of the bigger surprises, certainly, of the offseason.
Yeah, and without Paul on this roster, this team isn't in the conversation for winning. You need him to keep your window of winning open, and he is just that impactful and makes everyone on the floor better.
Razor sharp focus there from Anderson. Incredible at scoring despite the defense being up on it.
Westbrook passes to Roberson. He dishes it to Carmelo. Over Anderson. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Shooting 2.
First one falls for him. He hits one, then misses the second attempt from the free throw line.
Not nearly as productive a trip to the line as he'd have liked. They need all their free throws to go down at this point.
Harden outside. Anderson up top, defended by George. Lob pass to Capella. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City.
A highlight reel play all the way, just can't connect.
I thought the pass looked good and just came up a skosh short, but I like the initiative and the intention.
Now here's Anthony. Screen by Adams. Shot clock at 5. That's his 4th miss of the game. He has made 6 of his 11 shots.
And this is going to end in a lopsided victory. I love the tenacity and aggressiveness as well as the ability to close. You really got to give it up here for the Rockets.
2 great rebounding teams.
And these guys worked just a little bit harder tonight, and that was the edge they needed.
And so all the hard work here tonight converted into a tally in the win column. It'll be number 26 on the year.
And you always hope to take charge of the season series by winning that first game. This will put them up 1-0. 3 games left still to play this year against the Thunder.
And a lot of players tonight helped contribute to this performance, but in particular, a real good game it was for Eric Gordon.
You have to focus on the steals he came up with. They were huge factors in the end result. And a sturdy screen set for him that time, and he doesn't fool around, just straight to the rim for the finish.
No way for his man to get around that one, that's for sure.
No chance, Kevin. I mean, the screen was in the right spot. His feet were set. He would have had to go straight through him, and that's not legal.
And it's Oklahoma City's ball, down by 15. Patterson, the screen. Felton kicks to Patterson. And it's James Harden with the rebound. So we see Houston taking the W here. This was a very strong showing for him, Greg. Not necessarily a runaway win, but one they'll feel very good about.
And let's face it, anytime you can go on the road and win in the fashion they did, you have to feel good about it. Really an outstanding effort all the way around.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks, Kevin. Congrats, James, on the win. This is a very tough team. What does it mean to beat them?
It meant a lot. We wanted to come out here and play with some energy. Guys made shots defensively. It was a gutsy win for us.
I'm sure you'll see these guys again. Thanks, James. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and